Hello, Prinny here. I go for you with another video. This is actually the second attempt at a video. I had previously uploaded a video about this subject, and I thought I fixed the issue with my background music being too loud, but for some reason, it was just out of control, and I don't script these or anything, so I basically just have to redo it, and hope I can cover the same topics as before. Hopefully even better this time, since I've already done it once. This video is a follow-up to a video called "This Video May Not Be For You," and I named it that because there's a very niche discussion among our guild. I recommend you go watch that video if you want the full context. But basically, one of the guild mates had a question about using the selector when he had already had like all the meta units. Meta units, of course, being units that are great for all sorts of content. Try to get those first so you have plenty of options. And one thing he felt he didn't have enough of is good breakers. Like in this game, especially so far, there's not too many breakers that are considered top tier must pull. In fact, regular Brawi, which you get a free 3-star version, is like one of the best breakers of the initially released breaker, like Iggy, Leonide, and Xavier, all considered low tier, and the only ones so far that were like you really want to pull is Homa and August. Like even units like Pamina and Levata, which are very solid units because of the time that they came out, just wasn't that impressive. Which, despite how I labeled the video, it was surprisingly popular for my channel. So that means either people are interested in niche discussions, or they were clickbaited by my title, and that was not my intention. I hate when I get clickbaited, so if you feel that you were, I do apologize. But if you did like the last video, then I will title this, maybe this video is for you. But anyways, as you can see, I've already tipped my hand by going to Homa, but the idea was, what if you already had, like say, Pamina and Levita, but you didn't, weren't able to get the earlier meta units, and you feel like you still need some more breakers. Like, okay, I got the selector, do I get August, Homa, and who were considered, and some still considered meta units, and both were definitely really good when they came out. The question is, are they good now? And I say yes, especially at 5 stars. Like, I probably wouldn't recommend someone selecting August and taking him to 5-star, but I am willing to make an argument that Homa might be worth the effort, depending on how many slots you are trying to fill right now. Homa is a support DPS, and a lot of people, I feel like, underutilize her, because a lot of the talk around the time she was released was, hey, if you have August, you need Homa. Homa makes August really good, because August has bad move, well, only 3 when, longer, where Seekers have 5 by default, and more non-Seekers are getting 4 or more movement, like a 3-star SP Inanna has 5 movement. Well, Homa, she gets 4 movement at 4-star, plus she has a 4 range attack that has no vertical tolerance, or intolerance I should say, meaning that if they're in range, you can hit them no matter where they're at. Or maybe it does have a tolerance and it's just really high, but I've never been like, oh, I can't hit this person because they're too high or too low. And as an extra bonus, the attack I'm talking about, barrel attack, not only does it do a lot of damage thanks to potentially 125 modifier, the 120 modifier if you get the follow-up attack, but because it's Balor, part of that damage is Balor, it actually gets a boost thanks to her trait. Okay, here it is. It's part of hovering support. So, during this time when Balor is called to attack or heal, the corresponding skill increases by 1.5 times. So that 40% will be boosted to effectively 60%. Plus, she can get a follow-up attack. Starting at 4 stars, it's 40% of her physical attack as physical damage, which also gets boosted to 60%. So you're talking about a lot of damage, and not only is that, really good damage, we're talking about, 200%? I'm sure the math doesn't work out quite like that, but it should give you an idea. But the first attack actually causes physical defense down 3. So those extra attacks will do more damage than you would even anticipate if if it didn't have that effect. So this makes her a really strong mobile sniper, since hovering support boosts her damage. But if you need mobility for her instead, you can do move to and jump to herself, which I don't believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not sure that the bonus for the 1.5 times is activated if you use the skill on herself. Probably should have tested that before making that claim. Maybe I'll check it out later and see if I can confirm that, because the reason why it's tricky is because if you use it on herself, it'll give her attack 2. So I'd have to have her already have attack 2 and then compare it to using it on herself to get redundant attack 2 or using it on someone else. That's not all that she's got going for her. I kind of touched on hovering support. This move 2 is pretty rare, but giving another unit jump is completely unique. Like, even in the Chinese version, which is like 6 months ahead, I don't think anyone has been able to give this buff. So if you're looking for longevity, like on certain maps, being able to take, of course they recommended her for a gust, but you can do the same thing for units that are more mobile than a gust, like SP Inanna with hovering support. Like, she could get in, give herself a second turn, and get out pretty easily. Or, if you wanted to, you could have SP Inanna give Homa a second turn. She'll give herself 6 move and jump, and do something similar, because her auto attack lets her move after attacking, like the basic attack. This is one of the choices you'll get. And of course, there's not many meta archers. Like Nydia just came out, and like she's good at AoE, and since most of her AoE is triggered by doing single target attacks, like she is a good carrier for longbow of martyrs. But I don't have her, and she's not a breaker, so she's not really part of this conversation I'm having right now. I like to give a flying blade arm guard because it will trigger her follow-up attack, so she can get multiple return. And I have her with Redemption of Judgment since she's already kind of a debuffer. But there's some other good choices I won't get into. And one of the reasons why having flying blade arm guard especially is important to solve some of her energy problems. A lot of her abilities are really good, but like start at like 2 energy, so it's not something you would normally be able to spam, except for the fact that 5-star her follow-up attacks still random buffs and give and energy for her. And since ally with hovering support triggers follow-up attacks while still allowing Homa to trigger follow-up attacks, like she can just self-sustain her own energy while stripping the enemies of their energy and buffs. Plus she gets a pretty good attack boost at 5 stars. Another thing about barrel attack is it has it's part of tactic choice, which includes Cool Breeze. With her strong physical attack, usually this will heal to full if your target is in range of the follow-up, if they have a lot of HP. But if they don't have a lot of HP or don't have a lot of damage, usually it's strong enough. Plus, unique to her is that it's her heal, while a lot of heals just can dispel heal and receive, her specifically dispels heal and receive before the healing. And even if there's you're able to follow up with like another character do healing, like if you got Tyre, and you can potentially do multiple instants if you have the scrolls for it. But if the unit has a bunch of debuffs, it's possible that it can take multiple healing random debuffs to actually get healing receive, whereas this one is pretty much guaranteed. And with proper planning, it's possible to heal people from far away if you give someone hovering support on a previous turn and then move somewhere else, and then okay, I need to heal these guys over here, but I'm over there. Well, let me just activate Cool Breeze. And her ultimate, Hashalaram Carnival, is really useful. It's a bit tricky to use sometimes because of its high cooldown, but that's just because of how good it is. It will give disturbance to the target and to the ally Balor is assisting. And if Balor isn't assisting anyone, it defaults to herself. So if you use it on someone else, it'll affect Homa and her target. But if the Balor is already on someone else, it'll affect the target and whoever Balor is assisting. and they can be the same person. And if they're the same person, that person will actually gain 2 disturbance buffs. Disturbance dodges the first single target attack. If they have 2, they'll actually dodge the first 2 single target attacks. So you could put this on a tank, give them hovering support first, help them get in position, and then give them disturbance, and it will basically allow them to dodge the first 2 attacks. And on Coco, she can already take a bunch of attacks in the first place. It's usually enough to get her by even some of the toughest single target attacks. Plus, I always forget that the area effect can do the active skills and passive skill bands, and when I do remember, it can be very clutch. And the damage is surprising if you position correctly, because it does 60% physical AoE. And I'm not sure, but this might also get boosted by Balor when hovering support is used. But since if it hits twice, you can have a situation where the first 60% knocks them down to the injured state, causing the second attack to do more damage than you would expect. And there are some more DPS focused builds for her, but I won't get into too much, because even though I have a lot of the skills for it, it's rarely necessary, because she does so much damage with her regular support build while being a really good support. And sometimes it's nice to hear what a unit is capable of, but sometimes it's more effective to see a unit. So I'm going to pause it here, and then come back. I'm going to show you a replay. Okay, I'm back. Taylor already made the first move to grab a tarot card and use the energy recovery skill. So that's the only thing you missed. Let me just go ahead and get this started. Now, as you will see in this video, you might recognize it as Pioneer Mode 129, I believe. And this is based on my rules, difficulty 17, which is a little bit easier. 18 is doable, but it's really tough. 19 is only really possible on easy maps, because if you played it, you might know how tough that is. But 17 is a really good challenge. And let me speed it up a bit. You'll be able to see Homa really boosting Kamina, which I use because of my limited breaker units, but also was able to one-shot many of these units that is just a lot tougher due to how much stat boost and damage reduction they get at this level. So even though I've recommended Ivata in my previous video over at Kamina, I did get a random Kamina, and she's useful based on how limited many strong breakers I have. I tried breaking Brawly and Iggy into these Master Core, and it wasn't as effective as bringing units like Kavare, Extra Crafty, and Tair. course, you see other units doing some pretty good work too. So not really one thing. Like Homa is simultaneously having strong support. And one thing to keep in mind is it's not just enough that Homa is just strong support, it's that she has unique support. Like supports may come out that's overall better than her, but if you want to do the things that Homa can do, there's no substitute. Whereas someone like Agatz, like, he's still a solid damage dealer if you haven't 5-star. But, you know, he's already lost a lot of his shine due to characters like SP Safu, Astra, Tristan. So you saw that last bit. I put the hovering support on Palmina because she was in range of the unit within 2 spots, so that the barrel attack would trigger that 40% area effect, and you're just able to just completely destroy him. One thing to keep in mind, like I've been talking about all the good things about Homa, and she is really good, but even for a support unit, she's a bit fragile, which makes sense since she's an archer of high range and mobility. She can really stay out of danger. But like even just someone like Tyr, whose physical defense is actually a little bit worse than hers, has a lot higher magic resistance, whereas Homa's magic resistance is as bad as her physical defense. So, but that's like why she has the ability to give herself dodge and blind units and attack and move away. So it really is a unit I can recommend if like you're just not sure of like if you want a breaker, not sure which one to get. Heard about Homa, but maybe watching this it would help you make a decision. So this is where I'm going to end the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.